Hey guys, Dan here from Your Guitar Academy and welcome to this ear training video where I'm going to be really testing your ear and helping you to learn intervals. So in a minute we'll talk through exactly what intervals are and what that kind of means for you as you learn this. But to start with, I just want to explain how we're going to do this. Okay, so I'm going to be giving you 10 different intervals. Think of it as 10 questions in this little test. And as we go, I want you to just jot down your answers either in the YouTube comments, ready to kind of post them at the end, or just on a notepad if you just want to do it for yourself, because at the end of the video, I'm actually going to go through the answers with you. So it's all about just really trying to find your way through this. Remember that when it comes to training your ear, and in this instance, learning intervals, it's all about repetition. So going over and over it, getting your ear used to the difference in sound and to actually recognize these different intervals and these different sounds. Now, of course, once you've done this video, you'll probably remember and memorize some of the answers. It's worth trying a couple of times, but once you've done it a few times, certainly you'll remember the answers. So as well as this video, we provided a download for you whereby there's more questions for you that you can actually go through, listen, and try and identify the different intervals, and then you'll have a worksheet to go with that, which has the answers. So it will really help you progress and really train that ear. Now, there's three really important points that I want to go through before I actually start the test. So we're going to go through those first. Okay, so first question is the obvious one. What are intervals? What even is that? And the answer is that intervals are just the difference between a set of notes. So in this instance, we're going to do two notes. I'm going to play you the first note and the second note. And what is the musical difference between those two notes? And this is very much based on the major scale. So if I did, for example, the A major scale, you know, these notes aside are just called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay, that's just how you number the major scale, okay? And when I play you the first note as my reference, so I'm going to use the A as the reference note, so that's my root in this instance, and then I'm going to play another note, any other note from that major scale. So in this instance, I'm going to play this, okay? So I've played a C sharp here, which in the major scale is a 1, 2, 3, okay? So what we're going to say there is that's an interval of a major third, okay? Or you could just say third, but typically you hear it called major third, okay? And that's simply because there's your root, you know, that's my first reference note, and this is a major third above that reference note, okay? It's not a second, that would be there, it's a third, okay? And if you did anything, if you adjusted that note in any way, so if I went down and I did that note, so the C instead of the C sharp, okay, you would say that that's a flattened third, because you've got your major third, that's the third note in the major scale. And when I flatten that, so if you alter any of those notes in any way, then you just need to describe that alteration. So in this instance, I flatten the third. So my interval is a flattened third, okay? And that really is how intervals work. Now, the second thing that I want to go over, which is a common thing that comes up a lot, is the difference between perfect pitch and relative pitch. Everything that we're doing here is based on relative pitch, okay? So just because I play this note here and I can identify without looking potentially that in relation to that first note that I played is a major third, I can hear my way up those intervals. First, second, third. So I can hear that that's an interval of a major third. But that doesn't mean that I could tell you that without looking that that's an A and a C sharp. That's the difference between relative pitch and perfect pitch. I and most other people have got relative pitch, which means they train themselves, they train their ear to identify kind of how that note relates to that note, so the actual interval, okay? Perfect pitch is without even looking, being able to instantly hear that, oh, that's an A, or that's a C sharp. It's something that very few people have, and you're very blessed if you do, in fact, have this. It's a really, really cool thing. But everything we're working with today, and whenever we're ear training full stop, is all about relative pitch. The final question, which is possibly the most important question before we start our quiz, is why is this useful? Why on earth as a guitar player do I need this when I already know my A minor pentatonic? Why would I need to know this as well? And that's a really important question for anyone trying to get started with ear training. And for me, the answer is super simple. If you want to be able to listen to a song or listen to a piece of music or jam in a band with someone and actually work out what they're playing, you need to ear train, okay? You need to start developing your ear, because at this stage we're doing intervals. So you might think, okay, that's a little bit dull, but it really lays the groundwork for, then that builds up into harmonizing. So i.e., you know, oh, I can identify that this is a major 7th chord, or this is a minor 7th chord, and so on and so forth, okay? So you kind of build that up, and as you build that up, you'll start to identify, oh, okay, so this progression is a 1 to a 3, okay? And you'll start to listen to songs and very, very quickly be able to work them out without having to go to a teacher or a tab online or video online or whatever it is, okay? You'll actually have it within yourself to be able to do this. And this concept of intervals is, in my opinion, probably the first step that you should take on that little road. Okay then guys, so with that all said and done, it's time to start our quiz. So I'm gonna be switching camera views. It's all gonna be a little bit blurred out, so you won't be able to see exactly what I'm doing. I want you to use your ears here. This is all about ear training, remember? So get ready in the YouTube comments if you wanna kind of type these answers out. Get a notepad ready if you're gonna do it like that. We're gonna start the quiz. There's gonna be 10 questions, and after that, we'll actually go through the answers. So here we go. Okay, so that's the end of the quiz. Hopefully it wasn't too crazy and you were able to pick up some of that. And don't worry at all if you got none of it. The whole point is that you're here, you're willing to learn, and this is the start of that process. So let's now just go through the answers to that. Please, if you haven't commented already what you think your answers are, comment below now, because I want to see what people thought before the actual answers come on the video. So comment those answers. It doesn't matter if you're way off or you've got 100%. It's all about learning here. It's all about a community. Okay, so let's go through this one by one. The first thing I'm going to say is that I was actually using B as my reference note. I didn't expect any of you guys to know that because we're not perfect pitch necessarily. If you are, leave a comment, let me know. But that was our reference note, okay? And the first question, the first quiz question was a major third, okay? So just as I said before, we've got this root, second, third from the major scale, and that was the difference between the two. Okay, so we got, there's our reference note, and that's a major third up, okay? Now as we go through this process, if the intervals start to sound like a song that you know, or some kind of jingle or a tune, then remember that, okay? I'm not gonna go through all the various different jingles and tunes that kind of help me remember this. Just to say that if something does pop up, then you can actually attribute it to that interval. Okay? So that's our first one, a major third. Now the second one was this. And that's a major seventh. Okay? So that's because I go up from, there's my reference note, I go up that major scale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's my note. Okay, a major seventh. You can just call it a seventh, but typically people will call it a major seventh, okay? So that's my second note. The third one was this. Okay. And that's a fifth above. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably one of the easier ones to recognize, and this is the one and only time I'll give you the tune that I like with this one. This is the Star Wars theme. You know, it's that opening part. Okay, and that's a fifth above. Now the fourth one was this. Okay, so this one is a flat 7. A little bit harder because this is the first one where we altered the notes of the major scale. So a 7th, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is there, and we're playing a flattened 7th, okay? Now, you might hear something like that get called a minor 7th or a dominant 7th. It's like, it could be called a bunch of things based on the fact that it works that way in a variety of chords. But for me, I just keep it really simple. If it's not a major something, or if it's not just from the basic major scale, then you've probably flattened a note. That's probably the best way to think of it, and therefore it's a flattened 7th. Okay. Now the next one is this. Okay, and this is a flat 3rd. Okay, because again we've got the 1, 2, 3. There's the major 3rd, which we did earlier, and I flatten that by a semitone. So that's a flat 3rd. Very common, of course, if you're building a minor chord. So that's the flat 3rd interval. The next one was this. Okay. This is a 4th, an interval of a 4th. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So a major 4th, a perfect 4th, like all these various names. It's just a 4th. And again, if you can think it relates to some kind of tune or jingle or song that you like, please relate it to that. The next one is this. Okay, so this might have actually thrown some of you guys, but this is a 2nd. We're literally going from the 1st to the 2nd, the major 2nd. Okay, so it's up a tone, and that should be a relatively easy interval because you can just hear the steps up the major scale. Okay, so that's the 7th one, is a 2nd. The 8th one, the 8th test question was this, which is a major 6th. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, what a nice little sound that is. Very nice little interval for me, that one. A gentle interval, I would call that. The next one, and on the 9th and the 10th one, I deliberately tried to throw you guys, especially those of you who are kind of sailing through this. Apologies if for beginners this really destroyed it. But this next one was this. Okay. Now this is actually a major 3rd interval again, okay? But the actual 3rd, so 1, 2, 3, is up a whole octave. Okay, so it's way up there on the G string 8th fret, okay? But it's still, this is a little bit of a lesson in, it's still a major 3rd interval. You might have heard something like that before. That tune anyway. It's still a major 3rd interval, okay? So it's kind of, this kind of helps you to determine that it's not the pitch necessarily. It's not like the kind of the fact that, oh, okay, this one's really low and this one's really high, so it must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you know, something like that. Actually, you really got to find the root of that sound. You know, the fact that that almost sounds major. Same thing there. Okay, that kind of root up to the major 3rd, however high that is, sounds like that kind of major 3rd thing. And the last one was this. Okay, which again, same concept. I've just gone an octave higher. It's actually just a 4th again. It's that one there, up an octave. Okay, really nice sound. And that is your final quiz question. How did you do? Okay guys, I really hope you enjoyed that particular lesson. If you like this style of lesson whereby we kind of quiz you and this theory stuff, then let me know, because we can really develop that. Let me know in the comments if this is something you'd like to see more of from us. And if you want to carry on watching, then we'll pop some links here. We've got some playlists of me doing various lessons on various things. We've also got Theory Lab over on our website. So if you've never even thought about learning theory before, then head on over to the website. It's a really great section whereby we cover everything and anything theory. All right guys, enjoy that all, and I'll see you next time.